and taking a moment before we enter into meditation to start out class with Om. I kind of stopped Oming at the beginning of class because I couldn't hear you anymore. And recently I've been reincorporating Om back into the beginning of practice. So taking a moment to feel the earth underneath your tailbone. Feel the texture of your socks if you're wearing them, or to feel the cool mat or ground underneath you. And to really connect to the earth as that point of anchoring, and then feeling the spine lifting up, relaxing the shoulders down, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the neck. And I chant Om to connect us to resonance and sound and vibration, even though we are sharing time and space in a totally different way. We'll do a clearing breath, and we'll just do one round of Om. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale, HA. Release the breath out. Inhale, prepare for Om. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, release the breath out. And then using that energetic channel you just tapped into with the breath, through sound, through vibration, as the center of your focal point for the rest of the meditation. You can focus on even the nostril passages, oxygen coming in, CO2 coming out. I tend to like to focus more on my belly, the diaphragm, maybe that's more soothing. And the mind is likely gonna drift, and there's maybe gonna be a distraction that pulls you out of your practice. But giving yourself some credit when you do notice and you do redirect your attention back. Because that's it, you're doing it. And if it helps, labeling the breath too, or counting the breath, inhales, exhales, using numbers. And then slowly making your way onto the mat. That meditation portion of class goes by so quick. And coming into child's pose, balasana, bringing the toes to touch. Knees can either be extended or together, arms out long in front of you or at your sides. And taking a moment to acknowledge transition into your yoga practice, especially if you're in a space that you slept in or a space that you've spent a lot of time in, really grounding into this experience and knowing that this is now the space that you occupy to practice yoga. And if distractions come up, not resisting them and letting them just be a part of the experience. Just like we did at the beginning, feeling the temperature on your face, maybe your eyelashes, the weight of your torso, maybe the head on the floor. And then notice the breath, the rise and the fall of the belly. We already really tapped in with our awareness, but re-engaging that awareness. And then also just noticing what's going on in the field of your mind. And suspending any judgment on anything that does surface, just letting it exist there. Not fixing anything, and really using this 30 minutes to be here. And it's so challenging to have this present mindfulness practice. Using it as a training ground for the rest of your life, if you wish. Of course, never want to project too much of my own practice onto the people I'm participating in yoga with. And now engaging the Ujjayi breath, upward victorious breath. Inhale in through the nose. And exhale, HA out of the mouth. Seal the lips. Inhale in through the nose. And exhale out through the nose. And continuing with this form of breath. It's definitely an audible breath. If there's any point in class where you want to come back to Ujjayi, you're welcome to do that at any point. And over the next few breaths, pressing up into tabletop, stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, finding a sense of neutrality in the spine, crown and head forward, tailbone back. And I thought it actually might be nice today to do a little wrist variation. So we'll start with just the left hand, fingertips facing towards your knees, and right fingertips are forward. And always listening to your body. You never want to experience any pain when working with the joints. And just taking a moment, I can definitely feel this stretch. So giving yourself the time to be here and maybe taking little like wiggles, little micro movements, and then send the left fingertips forward and rotate the right fingertips back this time. Left fingertips forward. Maybe taking little micro movements. Also noticing difference from side to side. Maybe this one's a little more subtle. Maybe it's a little more loud. And then send the right fingertips forward. And option to do what we just did, or option to come on top of the hand. Right, and left fingertips back. Ooh, and for me, that one has a lot more intensity. The top of the hand is down. If it's too much, of course, back off. I also feel like my wrist is just like craving this motion. And then go ahead and switch them out. Bring the top of the right hand down. And the joints in the body, I've been studying the joints. And the top of the joint is articular cartilage, which helps absorb like shock in all of our movements. And then in between is the synovial fluid. And the joints are really what allow us. You can remove that. Oof, let that go. Oh my God, I have to roll my wrist around. That was a lot. Our butt is responsible for our range of motion. And inhale, tuck under your toes. Oh wait, we gotta do cat cow tilts. What am I saying? What am I doing? Inhale, cow pose, drop the belly, lift the gaze. And exhale, cat pose, press the palms into the mat, round the belly, tuck the chin. Inhale, cow pose, send tail up, gaze up, chest up. And exhale, cat pose. Rounding, tucking. Inhale for extension. And exhale for flexion like a cat. And continue your own breath to movement. And at this point, really engaging with the dialogue that is going on in your body. Listening, noticing. If there's anything that the body is asking for, and then doing that thing. It does not have to look like any yoga pose you've ever seen before. Maybe it's something you do every single class. Be nice to have a little ritual incorporated. And then gently over the next few breaths, we'll meet back in a neutral tabletop. Inhale to tuck under your toes. And exhale, press back downward, facing dog, sending hips high, heels low, paddling out the feet. Bending one knee, the other knee, standing through the fingertips, rooting through the knuckle mounds, especially index and thumb. Inhale, come onto your tippy toes. And exhale, bend your knees a lot so you can feel the tailbone flaring towards the ceiling, the palms pressing into the mat. You can slowly let the heels drift down. And relaxing, unfurling the brow, removing the tongue from the roof of your mouth. And this is a smaller class, and Melissa, I know, is a Feldenkrais practitioner, and Anna, I feel like you know about every theory there is possible about studying somatics in the body, so I'm sure that you're familiar with Feldenkrais. And if you're not, this practice, it just came to me, so I feel like maybe we should do it. Inhale, shift forward into a high plank pose. This is something that Alyssa used to teach. And pause here. And then shift back, but lead with your pelvis. Lead with your hips. Send the hips back. And then inhale, shift forward, lead with your toes. Press with the toes. And exhale, shift your hips back. Leading with the toes. And this time, inhale, shift forward, pull with your hands. And exhale, push with your hands. And continuing, inhale, moving, shifting and leading. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog. And just noticing how you can spread your awareness throughout the body. And it can be led with different parts and it feels different. And inhale, right leg lifts, reach, extend right leg behind you. Exhale, scorpion dog, right hip over left hip. Rolling the ankle around clockwise, counterclockwise. Maybe you rolled femur around or the thigh, and all the muscles threaded through there is quite a handful. Inhale, three-legged dog, reach, extend. And exhale, step the right foot forward. You can pick up a foot to get it up there. That's okay. And then arriving, this is your foundation. And you can choose to tend to fingertips. I'm going to use blocks. We're going to flow through cat and cow lunges. Inhale, cow lunge, dip the back knee, shine your chest. And exhale, cat lunge, rock your hips back. Work towards straightening that front leg. Feeling the belly of your hamstrings. Relaxing any tension in the face if it's there. Relaxing the belly. And then flowing breath and movement. Inhale, cow lunge. Exhale, cat lunge. Inhale, cow lunge. And exhale, cat lunge. Inhale, low lunge. And exhale, send left leg up to meet right leg. Coming into a forward fold. And we'll take ragdoll in between, bringing feet hips width distance. And going for any arm variation that the body is craving. Definitely bringing a generous bend into the knees so the chest can really spill forward. Feeling the weight of your torso, the weight of your head, collaborating with the force of gravity. Maybe you connect your hands to the earth. Maybe that feels just grounded and you want to pull energy up from the earth into your practice. So release something that you're holding on to, grasping onto. You can also choose to do a shoulder expansion or interweave the fingers at the nape of the neck. And then releasing any chosen grip you've taken. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine. Exhale, send the right leg back. So the left leg is forward, coming into this low lunge. And if you've got the blocks, you can use them, or you can tend to fingers. Inhale, cow lunge, dip your back knee, shine your chest. And exhale, cat lunge, rock your hips back, work towards straightening that front leg. Never has to get all the way straight. Maybe take a moment to feel where your pelvis is in space, the left or the right side. It feels pretty neutral. And this is like my favorite stretch to do in the morning. So I've been incorporating it into half-hour home flow quite a bit. Hopefully it's resonating with your practice as well. Inhale, cow lunge, dip your back knee, shine your chest. And exhale, cat lunge. Flowing breath to movement, going faster or slower if you need to. Inhale, cow lunge. Exhale, cat lunge. Inhale, low lunge. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog. And we're gonna go ahead and flow some sun salutations. And this class just goes by so quick. So coming back to Ujjayi, inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Inhale, look to the front. Exhale, move there, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine, lengthen the vertebrae. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Inhale, vertebrae by vertebrae, slowly unfurl the spine and come to standing Samasthiti. Let the shoulders relax. Maybe you even want to get some, I always kind of want to wiggle or kind of shake when I get into the first standing posture. But then taking a moment to find stillness, picking out the front toes, planting them back down, maybe lifting the ankles, planting them back down, and feeling all four corners of your feet. And for Samasthiti, you can have a little distance in between the feet, especially if it's gonna make you feel more grounded. You can also toe heel the feet to touch. And after you found that central axis in your body that you're always orbiting on, what is it, like centripetal force, where you're always going towards that center, and finding that center. And at this point in class, I always like to leave space to set intention. You can keep the arms at your sides, or you can bring hands to heart center, whatever feels more authentic to you. And maybe there's something that you've been cultivating. It can be an energetic statement, an I am and I have statement. It can be for the collective. It may be very, very, very simple, like I am at ease. That can be enough for today. I am confident in my actions and words. Choosing something that resonates with you. Inhale that intention in. And exhale, release it out. And choose to keep the eyes closed. Sometimes that practice of pratyahara is nice. Or maybe you want to flutter the eyes open. Taking the scenery, what's going on. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, sweep the arms up. And pause here. Really tapping into the activity, what's going on in the legs, the pressing of the feet. You can tap into the bandhas here, Uddiyana Mula Bandha. Contraction of the pelvic floor and belly button going back towards the spine, relaxing the shoulders. Inhale, look up if the neck allows. And exhale, cactus your arms, baby back bend, shine the sternum up. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips, dive down. Tailbone out. Inhale, halfway lift, reset, lengthen. Exhale, top of a push-up, Dandasana, staff pose. Pause here, always option to come down to knees or forearms. But building heat in this pose and turning towards the intensity that this pose brings up, it is challenging. Knowing this experience is absolutely impermanence, and not only is it challenging and not relying 100% on that's going to shift, but knowing that you're capable of being in intense moments and challenging moments. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Flatten the tops of the feet to the mat. And inhale for Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. Lift your head, neck, and chest, pressing tops of the feet into the mat, the pelvis into the mat, little to no weight in the hands. And exhale to lower. Inhale, Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. And exhale to lower. And for this last time through, if you wanted to tend to fingertips and have the elbows face up, you're welcome to try on that iteration. I kind of like it third time through. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Lift the head, neck, and chest. And exhale to lower. Bring the hands back by your chest. Inhale, tabletop. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Hips high, heels low. Coming back to the breath. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Inhale, look to the front. Exhale, move there, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reset, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, rise with your breath. Sweep your arms up. Exhale, cactus the arms, baby back bend, shine the sternum up. Feel the collarbones, the clavicle. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, reset, lengthen. Exhale, top of a push-up. Tandasana, I'm going to cue us through traditional chaturanga vinyasa. You can choose to do that with me or to switch it up after. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down halfway, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, pressing tops of feet into the mat. Legs are engaged. Even linger in the back bend, especially the first one, it feels good. And exhale, press back, down dog, hips high, heels low. And throughout class, we only have a few chaturangas because it's half-hour home flow, but you're welcome to skip them. You're welcome to change them. This is your practice, always listening to your body as your best guide. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Inhale, look to the front. Exhale, move there, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reset, lengthen. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, rise with your breath. Exhale, cactus the arms, baby back bend. Inhale, Urdhva. Exhale, forward fold, hinge the hips, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, reset. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog cobra, skip it. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose, feeling anchored with the 4 pillars or the 4 limbs in that you're using to connect to the ground. And also maybe even connecting back to that intention you set, fall into the wayside. Inhale, look to the front. Exhale, move there, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reset. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, fierce pose, awkward chair, plugging the way into your heels, sinking the way into your hips, tail flares here. I even like to bring my hands to kind of my rib cage and the soft part of my belly so I can feel the curvature in my spine, the flaring of my tail. And then you can choose hands at heart center, arms out long in front. And this pose, just like Dandasana, it's so challenging. It's an intense thing to do with the body, and it's also a fierce posture. So tapping into the determination and strength of a warrior. It's a warrior pose. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold, release. Let that sensation go. Inhale, halfway lift, reset the spine. Exhale, chaturanga, flow your version of high to low. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, ujjayi. And exhale, ujjayi. And go ahead and come down to the knees and let the hips sink off towards one side. We'll leave some time for some work on the ground. And we'll get into a forward fold. So bringing the soles of the feet to touch. Coming into a yin, they call this butterfly. Ooh, there was some honking outside my window. See? Distraction, get pulled out of your practice, directing your awareness back. And you can choose to remove the glutes from underneath you. So you're really sitting on your sits bone, your ischial tuberosity. It may even be nice to sit on a block. I actually like a thinner block to help tilt my pelvis down, or like a book. Inhale to find length in the spine. And exhale, fold forward. And at the end of class, I tend to like to take a more of a yin approach, more lunar perspective. And so you can leave a lot of distance in between your pelvis and your heels. And you can also really allow the spine to round. If you're doing more of an active hold where the heels are close to the pelvis. You may want to keep the spine extended, but tapping into more of the lunar side of practice, where you're relying more on intuition, where you're cultivating deep listening, sometimes the art of reflection, more generative or nurturing. And vertebrae by vertebrae, unfurl the spine, and then close your legs like you would close a book, and come to lay on your back, and we'll meet with the feet touching the ground, and then move into figure 4. So bring right ankle on top of left thigh. You can choose to stay like this, practicing external hip rotation just like you are. Or if you want to weave the fingers underneath or on top of the base of your thigh or on top of the shin, maybe you want to press the right arm into the inside seam of the right leg. And the hips and the shoulders, the ball and socket joint, they really are designed like basins. They're designed like bowls, and they have a huge range of motion. But with that idea of the bowl, sometimes they do, I think, like I swear to God, the hips and the shoulders are where we compartmentalize our emotions and where we carry anxiety and other things around with us. So knowing that sometimes you're met with a physical sensation and that is enough, that is plenty. But also in the stillness, if something else comes up, that is very much a part of a practice of stillness and receptivity. And if you've chosen to interweave the fingers on top of the shins, you can let the right leg glide over the left leg, coming into eagle legs or twisted root legs. And this may be enough. You may have the practice of bringing the right shin behind the left calf muscle. You may be like, why would I do that? And that's okay. That's not a necessary addition in the practice. Planting the feet down and then letting the knees and legs head towards the left. Right arm goes out like half of a T. Gaze can be up. These can follow your fingertips. Gentle supine twist here. And then bring the knees back towards center, unthread them. Plant the right foot down and bring left ankle on top of right thigh. This may be exactly enough. Or you may choose to interweave the fingers at the base of the thigh or on top of the shin. Press the left elbow into the inside seam of the left leg. And we do a lot of walking and running and biking and sitting, and a lot of it is in the same direction. So anything like half pigeon or where you're practicing external rotation, the hip is just like, ooh, yay, thank you for going this direction, because it's a ball and socket joint and has a huge range of motion. It wants to utilize every direction. And planting the foot down. And choosing how you would like to set up for a twisted root or eagle leg twist. Left leg is over the right thigh. You can choose to bring the left shin behind the right calf muscle if that's a layer you want to tack on, but not a necessary layer. And then letting the legs fall towards the right. Left arm goes out like half of a T. Gaze can follow the fingertips. Gaze can also be up, and it doesn't have to mirror what you did on the other side. This side may be a little different. And then bring knees back towards center, unthread the legs. Come into a cannonball shape, Apanasana. Wrap the arms around your shins. Maybe even bring forehead towards your knees. And release into shavasana, final rest. Letting the limbs fall down at your sides. Releasing any tension that may still be lingering in the body. You can wiggle, bounce it off, flick it away. And I will guide you up and out of shavasana when it is time. And you are welcome to stay in shavasana longer, but I'm going to try and stay in the 30-minute confines. So I am going to guide you up and out, and slowly beginning to invite some movement back into your body, maybe wiggling of the toes, bouncing of the fingers. You can expand and scrunch the face, roll the tongue around the roof of your mouth or back of the teeth. Bring the arms above you like you would stretching. Bring knees in towards your chest, and decide if you would like to roll to the right for more activity, for more solar energy, or the left for more lunar energy, for more receptivity, using the bicep like a pillow, and extending a wave of gratitude to yourself for doing this practice, for igniting a sense of curiosity and maybe even compassion into your morning, using the body and this tool of mindfulness to help you navigate through the rest of your day. And honoring the lineage of this practice, going back to India with its roots in texts like the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali and the Bhagavad Gita, and also honoring the unceded ancestral lands that we occupy here, honoring the traditions of the Duwamish people and the Coast Salish people, and also the people alive today, carrying those traditions forward. And you can gently press yourself up to a seat. And I can't remember if I did this last week or not, but we're actually going to seal class with one hand on the earth and one hand on the hearts. This is the Bhumi Parsha Mudra, and it's really grounding. Originally, there's like a whole story with the Buddha, and in all the pictures I see, it's just like the Buddha's fingertips are ever so slightly grazing the earth. I like to like full on plant my hand on the ground and like feel that connection to earth. And you too can feel that connection to earth, feel the connection to the heart, the exchange that's going on with the outside and the inside world. And knowing that the earth is always there to hold you. And you can choose to keep the hands like this, or to bring them to heart center in the Anjali Mudra, which represents non-dualism, the coming together of the yin and the yang intensities. And then moving hands from heart center to third eye, falling forward to seal in your practice. Peace, and thank you for being here. All right, friends. So lovely to see you this morning. And oof, I'm so sorry I went over again.